Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here at one of my favorite spots. You guys have seen this place in my videos before, Dugout Bait and Tackle down in Marietta, Georgia. Now, a lot of y'all know that forward-facing sonar has kind of revolutionized the game of fishing for a while. I played around with Panoptics on ice, and I finally had a chance to get this fully rigged up on my kayak to use in the tournament season. So this is not a super easy rigging job. I didn't trust myself doing it, so I brought it down to the experts down here. This is my buddy Nick, and he's gonna talk about what we did to kind of customize this Garmin setup for my kayak.
This Garmin setup with Livescope Panoptics, it's been a very popular setup here at the Dugout. In the last year, we've done a ton of installs with this. And you know, with any install, it's a little bit of trial and error. We're figuring out what works and what doesn't work. We're actually on kind of version 2.0 for the drop arm here, so that you can control your Panoptics. It swivels in a full 360 degrees. That way you get a nice 360 degree field. We've rigged Christine's up with a perspective view as well. So she has perspective view with her Panoptics. She's running a 10-inch Garmin Echo Map Plus. With the 10-inch Garmin Echo Map, there's a lot of weight on this setup. A typical ram ball is not something we want to use on a 10-inch setup, because when you ram mount that ball here, the weight's just too much, even for an 1.5-inch ball. So we've actually installed another A-trail section here at the front. We're using dual mounting plates, and we've actually hard mounted her head unit to these dual mounting plates, and you get a nice secure setup here in the front. And with this big screen, you've got a nice clear view from your seat. Inside the hole is kind of where all the magic happens. I mean, we've got probably 10 pounds of wire running through Christine's boat here to run her battery, to run all of the networking cable that is needed to communicate the head unit with the Panoptics. We have flush mounted lights inside of here, and we also have up on the front, we've installed a Garmin SteadyCast.
What that does, you guys, I've had the GPS on all of my units in the past. If you have a waypoint and you're specifically wanting to make that one cast, you have to have that, or it's not going to tell you what position your boat's in relations to your waypoint. So gotta have that with any unit, hands down.
Yeah, I think we've all been on the water with our head unit, and you're kind of sitting in one spot and your cursor's spinning. It will not do this. Your cursor will face the exact direction your boat is facing when that's installed. A really cool tool. Inside the boat, we have everything with the exception of the Panoptics. We've run the Panoptics independent. So Panoptics is going to run straight to the battery. We've hooked in a Yak Power on-off switch. It's located right over here next to our head unit. So she's able to actually turn her Panoptics on and off right here through this switch, and that is run directly to her battery. Everything else in this boat is run through an FPV power distribution hub. That distribution hub has a 4-item selector switch, A, B, C, and D. It also has 2 sources of permanent power that you can run permanent power, and that selector switch is remote controlled. We keep Christine's control right here in the center of her boat, but it's just a simple keychain fob, and you can keep that with you on your vest wherever you'd like, and that controls all the electronics on her boat with the exception of Panoptics Livescope, which is right here on a switch. Really cool, clean setup. Everything that is in here, which is her distribution hub and her communication unit for her Livescope, it's mounted onto Tim Percy's Percy plate. It is a custom-made plate that fits inside of these Pro Anglers. There's 2 different sizes, one for a 14 and one for a 12. And it makes our rig nice and clean. All of our wires are up here nice and clean. And beyond that, her center hatch, or her front hatch here on the boat, the front hatch fits perfectly down here back into this boat, so you don't lose your front hatch space, but we have all of the wiring up here nice and clean in the front of the boat.
So a lot of people want to know, you know, the thing with the Panoptics, a lot of the guys in the bass boats are mounting that transducer on their trolling motor. So how do we make that work on a kayak? I'm gonna let Nick kind of take you through. This is an awesome DIY mount that they came up with here at Dugout for the transducer.
Yeah, we've actually, we've built this out of several different pieces, and we're really piecing this thing together. This is actually like a carbon fiber, like walking stick, like a hiking stick. We're only using the first 2 sections of it. We're completely discarding the rest of it. This handle's another custom piece that we've ordered. We want this handle piece here because it's actually directional facing, so you know which way your Panoptics is facing as you swing it. We are taking this 360 degree swivel mount off of a camera mount that we stock here in the store, so we're actually having to piece that out. This is a Ram Tough Claw. The Ram Tough Claw holds everything into place, and it allows us to grip this onto the boat nice and secure. And you have two different ball options here. This one's a 1-inch ball. We've actually, in models after we've done Christine's, now again, learning from what we've done in the past, we've gone up to a 1.5-inch heavier Tough Claw. That way we don't get any movement. You know, feedback from Christine is on this 1-inch ball rig. When she's running a torpedo on this boat, she's getting some play in this. We don't want that, right? We want that gone. So 1.5-inch ball is the upgrade we'll do here, and that'll secure that a little bit better.
Yeah, the one thing I really like about this, and I've seen others, you know, do kind of DIY mounts that don't have this directional kind of indicator here, and that's one thing I learned on the water is that literally whatever direction this is pointing is where my sonar, where my transducer is pointing. So that was really helpful. And another thing I really like about this is, you know, I wondered kind of how is this going to be able to stow away when I'm traveling, because you can't really remove this mount with the wiring, this transducer. So the nice thing about having all of these things here is you can move it to where it tucks right along with your rods and secures down there. So it's really easy to kind of tuck it away with everything.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest problems with this rig is it's not removable.
Yep.
This thing is hardwired through the hull of the boat. It's drilled. So having something that is movable so you can store this in your boat is essential for travel.
Yep, and that's why I bring my stuff here, you guys. They do the best job, hands down, of any shop I've ever been to. They're great people. They have a full selection of Hobie products, rods, reels, tackle, you name it, all the high-end gear you could need. And again, they're great people. They take care of you, and they're always thinking of ways. They're innovative, and they're thinking of ways to make their rigging cleaner, more efficient, and better for the angler.
We do it for you, and we do it for all of you guys. You know, we are the end users as well. I'm a kayak fisherman. I've been fishing out of and rigging Hobies for 10 years now. I love doing it. I love finding new and better ways to do it, and we want to help the anglers out and make your life easier on the water.
And it certainly shows. So y'all get down here and check them out, and stay tuned for some upcoming videos on how I'm going to use my GARMIN Livescope on the water.